The Department of Trade and Industry is to host a conference on employee share ownership, which begins today. For more, let's cross to our SABC News Economics editor, Tshepo Mongoai. Tshepo, a very good morning to you. Talk to us a little bit more about what's about to happen there.
Well, good morning, Leanne. Well, of course, we here at the Sandton Convention Center, where the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition is hosting the employee ownership shares conference, a reflection indeed of what has been a journey in terms of black economic empowerment. Remember, over the years, seeing these big headlines in the newspaper that workers have been granted billions worth of stake in various companies. And of course, there were a lot of lessons learned, and we've seen some kind of transformation over the years in terms of how these particular deals are structured. There's been a lot of unhappiness among many quarters, especially from the workers, reflecting on these particular deals and how they are structured and the value that they actually derive from these employee share ownership schemes. For more, we are joined by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Ibrahim Patel. Minister, thank you very much for your time. Just a little bit about this conference, the idea to host this particular conference, and what's really the aim?
Good morning to you, Tshepo. This morning we're bringing together, streaming to the venue already, our business people and trade unionists and trustees of worker share ownership programs and academics and experts, as well as regulators. And what they will be doing is taking stock of a quiet transformation of our economy that is happening before our very eyes, where hundreds of thousands of more workers are beginning to get shares in the companies that they work for. And we will be releasing results today of the research that we've done that shows not only that more than 500,000 workers now are owners of some of the shares in their companies, but will also indicate the equity value of those shares and how what kind of sectors of the economy are particularly strongly represented. And the worker share ownership program, and they are called ESOPs globally, is really an instance where workers have a say over many of the things that matter to them. They're owners of the capital in the business. In some cases, they can nominate a representative to the board of the company, and workers benefit from the dividends that are paid. So it's to take stock, to celebrate the successes, to learn from the challenges and plot a way forward.
It's been a journey, Minister. We know over the years a lot of mistakes were committed in terms of these particular schemes. What can we learn from that?
We've learned that the most important thing is to have a good governance arrangement in place. In the early days, we've had many challenges with how the deals are structured, but those have begun to settle now. We now have much clearer guidelines that companies are using. Workers are much more informed about it, and we are strongly focusing on ensuring that trustees are elected by workers and they report back to workers. So here is a success story for South Africa of an enormous transformation where previously, if you think about before 1994, the idea that ordinary workers in a factory or in a bank or in a supermarket could be co-owners would have been unthinkable. And today, large numbers of workers are co-owners and they derive benefits. It goes into payments that they receive, and we're providing some of that detail. But what it's more fundamentally about is how do we change the nature of our economy to make it both more inclusive, but also to let it grow faster. And faster growth requires better partnership at the shop floor. That partnership only comes about when everybody feels they benefit from the fruits of the partnership. And that's what the worker share ownership program has shown. Globally, there are many instances of it. South Africa is charting a new path, a very positive path, and one where we can see now real, tangible benefits in the hands of ordinary South African workers.
Minister, we know some of these deals have actually gone under the water because they were financed either through share price, and share price have declined. And in some instances, the workers say the amount of money after vesting or waiting for like 8 years is very little. I mean, one thing of the classical example, which is Kumba Iron Ore, where workers derived over 500,000 rand each. We don't see much of that.
Well, many of the instances are ones where workers actually receive these payments, and I regret that I think some of the stories that have come out publicly don't fully concord to the facts. We've seen instances where large payments have been made to workers, and as I said, the early phases of some of the broad-based black economic empowerment programs were poorly designed. What we've done now is it's a new program. In this instance, for example, with Shoprite Checkers, it's a large retailer, and they now have an arrangement where every year a portion of the dividends are paid out directly to workers, and a portion is used to defray the cost of the equity or the shares. But we're also working with companies to make sure that the price of the shares reflect properly the true value. Many of the early deals were badly priced, and so they didn't work well. But these ones are going very, very well.
Thank you very much. That's the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Ibrahim Patel. Of course, we'll continue our coverage here at Sandton Convention Centre discussing these models of economic empowerment or broad-based economic empowerment where workers are given usually a minority stake in the company that they work for. Are they really deriving tangible value that is sustainable for their future? From me, Tshepo, I'm heading you back to studio, Leah.
Thanks very much, Tshepo.